I say, and now the real story's just begun. And then I hear, oh.
So I loved the movies growing up. I loved the show. What was the moment you knew that the show clicked and worked? Because obviously it could go either way if you think about it.
I always say post-production is when you really see it come together, because on set we always felt we'd leave every day like we have what we need, but then when you're in post and they edit it together and then you're with the music crew or you're with the mixing crew and that team, they're really seeing a semi-finished product. It's almost there, and when they have tons of film and television coming through their stages, and when they say to us, this is really good, then you know that you're onto something.
Well, you know, it's interesting. We're in an era, it's 2019 now, or 2018 when the show broke. The cool thing about being on like YouTube Premium is you watch the clicks as they're happening. It's the show breaks and then you're seeing 10,000, 15, 30,000, 400,000, 500, 2 million, 3 million, 7 million. It's like what? And then you start reading the comments. You don't have to wait till like Tuesday to get the national ratings back. You know what I mean? It's happening live in real time. So it was, you know, we felt we nailed it. It's very tough tone, you know, there's comedy, there's drama, there's heart, soul, goosebumps, nostalgia, relevance, action. Those things don't always come together well and work, and in this case it did, and on top of that we were able to see their fan reaction as it was happening, and that's amazing.
And I love the way you wove in the nostalgia with obviously new characters. What's your favorite maybe callback or Easter egg you got to, you know, sneak into season 1?
You know, there's so many different Easter eggs and callbacks, but I don't know, you know, it's tough to pick one. The first thing that comes to my mind is in the first episode when Johnny drives drunk and depressed to the All Valley Arena to, you know, see where he lost back in the day, and he just flashes back to when his former sensei broke his trophy and tried to strangle him in the parking lot, and we shot that in a way where we had to kind of reshoot it with new actors and the same type of wardrobe, and it reminded me of the movie Back to the Future 2, which is one of my favorite movies. So you saw actually a scene from Karate Kid 2 from a different perspective. I know that not everybody in the world goes crazy about that, but for us, that was the most artistic thing that's ever happened on Earth. So we were just really happy and excited when that happened.
What was the most surreal part about stepping back into this character on set? Was there a moment you're like, I'm back in like this scene or this set?
The one time that it really was surreal was when we did the tournament. The rest of the time, it really wasn't surreal at all. It was actually almost like playing a whole new character, waking up in the apartment, driving to work and all that, because it wasn't the Johnny that we knew from those days. He has 35 years of life in between him. So, but when I get in the tournament scene, that's when it started to become deja vu-y and feel a little bit like, oh, I'm Johnny Lawrence again, you know.
Did you imagine like where Johnny would be, and then all of a sudden here's the show, and this is where he is? Like, how did your thoughts compare to what the show ended up doing?
I never really thought about where Johnny would be too much, but I wouldn't have seen him here. It took these guys to see him here, but they're right, and it's awesome.
No, I was like floored when Kreese came in at the very end of the season. What can you tease moving forward in season 2 with his character, and can we expect any more cameos coming up?
Well, when it comes to Sensei Kreese, it's, you know, we threw Johnny's father figure of the past into the mix. I mean, Johnny has a lot going through his head already, and to have, you know, Sensei Kreese looming large and obviously wanting back into Cobra Kai, there's a lot of drama ahead. I don't want to spoil anything too much. There may be some other characters from the past who show up. We never really talk about that stuff. You'll see, tomorrow night or the next day, whenever you see, you'll get to see if anyone else shows up this season.
Did you ever think you'd be stepping back into this character all these years later?
No, it is the gift that keeps giving, but we've been friends for so long, and, you know, we occasionally do conventions, and it's a classic movie, and you know what constitutes a classic for me is when all your family can go and watch the movie twice, you know, and there are very few of them around. And this film has always made us all popular. It's kept us all in the limelight.
I wore my VHS out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really, and because Robert Kamen, who is really the star, not Miyagi and not Ralph, and I tell them this, and every time I tell it to Robert, he just says, no. But he is the star. That written word of 35 years later, we're saying, sweep the leg, no mercy. Every movie maybe has one line, the force be with you, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse, play it against Sam. But a real classic movie you can repeat over and over and over again. Lines from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, so we have a movie like that he constructed. And that's kind of the proof of a classic film. And I don't think, it's never died. It's never gone away from me, And John Kreese is now being allowed to show a lot of colors in the show, where before John Kreese was a stoic, tough guy. Now you'll see in the show.
We'll learn more about him, just like we did Johnny. Get in the layers.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, lots of layers. And
it was one of the best surprises, I feel like, your entrance at the end of the season. Did you go on social media? Did you see the reactions? Because I feel like people were going nuts.
Nuts. They went. I mean, I'm not big on social media. My son helps me a lot, but it is amazing how many people responded. The real story's only just begun. I mean, when I did that scene, and my first rehearsal, and I came there, and the first rehearsal was I just hit the mark, say your line, puffing the cigar. All of a sudden, and I'm really nervous. He said, they wrote it for me, and on the far end of Video Village, I say, and now the real story's just begun. And then I hear, and like everyone, the crew, the cast, the writers, they were waiting for John Kreese to say those lines,
It was like the magic.
They waited 9 episodes to hear that happen. And then I felt, okay, I'm okay.
You calmed down, you're like, I can do this.
Right, I can do this. So that was the challenge. So can I live up to what the people liked about that performance years ago, And now he's tempered with colors, so it's much more exciting for me to play.